2 years ago, this was just dead grass, a rusty lawnmower I never used, and a sad little patch of weeds in the corner. Today, I'm literally picking my breakfast out here. Blueberries, figs, herbs, even a little apple tree that gave me actual apples last fall. And I'm not a farmer. I don't have acres of land. This is a regular suburban backyard in central Texas. So if you've ever thought, I'd love to grow my own food, but I don't have the space or the knowledge, stick around because I'm about to walk you through exactly how I did it, step by step. Before we get into the steps, let me quickly explain what a food forest actually is, because it's not just a garden. A food forest is basically a mini ecosystem you design to mimic the natural layers of a forest, except every single layer produces food. Think of it like this. A real forest has tall trees at the top, smaller trees beneath them, then shrubs, then ground cover, and roots underground. A food forest uses that same layered structure, but instead of random trees and random plants, every layer has a purpose. And the magic of it, once it's established, it basically takes care of itself. The plants support each other, reduce weeds, retain moisture, and build healthy soil over time. It's low maintenance, it's beautiful, and yes, it grows actual food. All right, let's get into how I built mine. The very first thing I did, and this is the step most people skip, was just watch my yard. I spent about 2 weeks literally observing where the sun hits throughout the day, where water tends to pool when it rains, where the soil looks dark and healthy versus dry and rocky. This matters so much because if you plant a fruit tree in a spot that only gets 2 hours of sun, it's not going to thrive, no matter how good your intentions are. So grab a notebook or use your phone and just track it. Morning sun, afternoon shade. Where does water drain? Where does it sit? That one step saved me from making a lot of expensive mistakes early on. Once I understood my space, I made a super simple map. Not artistic, not perfect, just a rough sketch of my yard with the areas labeled. Then I started thinking in layers. For the tall canopy, I knew I wanted an apple tree and a fig tree. Both do great in my zone. I placed them on the north side of the yard so they wouldn't shade everything else. For the mid layer, I added a couple of dwarf peach trees and an elderberry bush. Shrub layer, blueberries along the fence. Those things are low maintenance and produce like crazy once they establish. Then I filled in with herbs like comfrey, lemon balm, and chives, which by the way also attract pollinators, so your whole system starts working together. And ground cover? I used white clover. It fixes nitrogen in the soil. It's basically a living fertilizer. Okay, this one is not glamorous, but it might be the most important step. My soil was terrible, hard, compacted, barely any worms. If I just planted trees in that, they would have struggled. So before I planted a single thing, I put down a thick layer of compost, about 3 to 4 inches, and mixed in some aged wood chips. Then I laid cardboard over any grassy areas I wanted to convert. This is called sheet mulching. The cardboard smothers the existing grass and weeds, breaks down over time, feeds the soil life underneath, and you don't have to do any heavy digging. It's called the lazy garden bed method, and it genuinely works. Within a few months, I started seeing earthworms everywhere, which is your sign the soil is waking up. With healthy soil in progress, I started planting, and the order matters. Trees and shrubs go in first, always. They take the longest to establish, and everything else gets designed around them. I bought mostly bare root trees in late winter. They're cheaper, easier to plant, and actually establish faster than container-grown trees because the roots spread out naturally. When I planted each tree, I dug a wide, shallow hole, not deep and narrow. Wide roots need room to breathe. Then I gave each tree a good deep watering and mulched around the base, keeping mulch a few inches away from the trunk. That prevents rot. First season, they looked tiny and honestly a little sad, but I trusted the process. Here's what I wish someone had told me earlier. You don't have to do it all at once. I planted my trees in year 1. I added blueberries and comfrey in year 1 too, but I let the ground cover and herbs fill in slowly over the following season. A food forest is a living system. It evolves. And honestly, the slower you go, the more you learn because you start to see what's working, what the plants want, where things are thriving, and where they're struggling. I also added a couple of climbing vines along the fence, a hardy kiwi and some native passion vine, which used vertical space I wasn't using and added another layer of biodiversity. The thing is, once all these layers start interacting, the trees shade the ground cover holds moisture, the comfrey accumulates nutrients, the system feeds itself. You stop fighting nature and start working with it. Watering in the beginning is critical. The first year especially, your plants are putting their energy into root development. They need consistent moisture. But I didn't want to be dragging a hose around every day, so I set up a simple drip irrigation system on a timer. Cost me about $60 at the hardware store, and it handles everything automatically. I also set up a rain barrel connected to my gutter downspout. Free water, collected whenever it rains. In a dry Texas summer, that barrel saved my herb bed more than once. As your food forest matures and the ground cover establishes, your watering needs go way down. The system starts to retain its own moisture. That's when things get really exciting. I want to share a moment that really stuck with me. It was early September last year. I walked outside in the morning with my coffee. I do that most days, and I realized I was literally surrounded by food I had grown. The fig tree had about 40 ripe figs on it. The blueberries had already given us more than we could eat that summer. The herbs were so overgrown, I was giving them away to neighbors. And I just stood there thinking, this was a dead lawn 2 years ago. There's something quietly powerful about growing food. It connects you to your land in a way that's hard to explain. You stop seeing your yard as just a lawn you have to mow and start seeing it as something alive, something that works with you. And the best part? My neighbors got curious. One of them started their own small food forest this spring. Another one asked if I'd help them set up raised beds. It kind of spreads. That's the thing about growing food. It's generous. The more you do it, the more there is to share. Okay, so let's quickly recap the whole process. 1. Observe your space before you plant anything. Know your sun, shade, and water flow. 2. Sketch a simple design using layers: canopy, subcanopy, shrubs, herbs, ground cover. 3. Fix your soil first with compost and sheet mulching. Cardboard is your best friend. 4. Plant your trees and shrubs first, in the right season, with wide, shallow holes and deep mulch. 5. Fill in the other layers gradually. You don't have to do everything at once. 6. Water smart with drip irrigation or a rain barrel, especially in year 1. And then you wait, you watch, you learn. And one morning you walk outside with your coffee and realize something incredible has happened in your own backyard. It's not fast, it's not always clean, but it is absolutely worth it. If you're thinking about starting your own food forest, even a tiny one, I really hope this gave you a clear place to start. You genuinely don't need a lot of space or a lot of money. You just need a plan and a little patience. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you have a backyard you're thinking about transforming, or have you already started? I read every comment and I love hearing what you all are working on. If you found this helpful, a like really does help this video reach more people who are trying to do the same thing, so thank you for that. And if you want to follow the full journey, updates on my trees, what worked, what didn't, and what I'm planting next season, make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next one. Now go outside and look at your yard a little differently.